That's what that fucking title screen sounds like, man. It's just... Well, without the... Obviously without the, not the same context, but still... It's just some loud business, like... Every time you started up this game for the entirety of fucking Shadowbringers, that's what you heard. Fucking Goku going ham. It's crazy. Anyway. Put that over there. Transition. Hey everybody! Welcome back to another episode of FF14 Shadowbringers now. I'm gonna let this play I'll let this play because I realized that at the start of other expansions I actually analyzed the trailer a little bit. I forgot to do that with this one. We just kind of went into the game as soon as the trailer was over. So yeah, the previous video, you know, part 1, I showed the trailer without me in it. No voiceover, no commentary. If you want to see that, but I want to talk about it a little bit. Just, you know, make a few comments. Not much, really.
How many years have come and gone since that day?
This one has voiceover. The other one didn't. None of the other ones have had any kind of narration. This is the first one.
How many years have I waited for this moment?
Shit, did they show it already and I missed it? Hold on.
For the one that stood alone against the storm.
That close up on those eyes, holy shit.
For the one they called.
Accurate. That's totally how I defeated him, yeah.
The warrior of light.
Would have been cool if I was able to finish him off with the actual little charge up where you know, with the samurai blade, but I kind of just killed him with a normal fucking basic ass attack. Look at this, main theme composer and sound director, Masayoshi Silken. Boom, baby! The torch has been successfully passed down. It's not Nobuo Uematsu anymore doing the main themes. Silken has taken over the entire audio department at this point. He's the one who made this main theme. This is his first time making a main theme for an expansion, and it's fucking awesome. Uematsu would be proud, because this theme is... Well, I just said, it's fucking awesome. I love this little gremlin thing talking shit to you. Like your own personal heckler, look at it. And he keeps talking shit after the fight starts too. This looks chaotic. What the hell is happening here?
What sayest thou, Master Matoya? We may accept this fate, or defy it, but we cannot deny it.
Orianjo has gone full astrologian.
Deny? I am not wont to run from my troubles.
Master Matoya must have taken some anti-aging cream or something, I don't know.
Until our friend returns, I will hold the line.
Oh, you stole it, holy shit. He's gone full black mage now. He ain't a healer no more. I need that meme where I'm a healer, but... you know. Tancred's a gunbreaker now. This looks familiar, doesn't he? We saw him in the cutscenes yesterday in Newmore too.
Certainly has changed, and not at all for the better.
Some of y'all might not remember him, but that Sin Eater is based off of an exact replica. It's an exact replica of an actual living statue that attacks you in a dungeon in Heavenward. It's an optional bonus dungeon.
I'm not going anywhere.
Amdapor, the Lost City of Amdapor hard. After Diablos gets flushed out, I guess the White Mage, the defense, the automated defense system that the White Mage is left behind activates after Diablos is gone. And so a bunch of, statues come to life with like holy powers and shit. Oh, and this is of course just nice dancer intro with, you know, Victoria's Secret supermodel Vieira's showing off the dancer class. Specifically, I think that's meant to be the character we met already, the Kurt Gateguard or whatever.
This
I think.
tragedy, greater even than the seventh umbral calamity, must be undone.
Let's do it too. That angel right there. That was the boss in Amdapor Keyboard.
History must be unwritten. Let it be unwritten.
You had to kill it like multiple times because it kept reviving itself.
Become what you must. Become the warrior of darkness.
Badass fucking trailer. Definitely the best one yet. However, if you noticed, major shift and breakaway from the old style of previous trailers. It's very story heavy. Like, this one is very spoilery. Compared to all the previous, well, I guess you could argue Realm Reborn's, right? But what's it spoiling? 1.0? A game you can't even play anymore? I guess. That's about it, though. You could argue that they're all spoilery, though. But this one is the most, by far. Like, it actually has narration with dialogue that heavily, like, implies what's happened in the story so far. You see what the main cast is actually doing. You know, and in the Stormblood trailer... It's gonna play again, I better do this. In the Stormblood trailer, it was more abstract. Like, they show the main characters, but there's no context of what they're doing. You know, like, most all we saw was Lys and the Warrior of Light sparring on the statue. That's it. We don't know why they're there, what the fuck they're doing. And then... Or, like, why even Lys is dressed that way. None of that, right? And then they show the Warrior of Light and Kugane, now a samurai after that, with longer hair, for some reason. Assume, like some kind of time jump, even though in the story these things happen in reverse. But anyway, they show him as a samurai, and then they show Yugiri and Gosetsu on top of the... Not the Kugane tower that we can climb, but the one way in the background with the main symbol on it. And that's it, but there's no context to any of it. This one actually goes in on, like, the story stuff. Like, they were like, fuck it. I mean, if people have been keeping up, you know, this far, you know, they'll know what's happening in the story at this point, so who cares? It's obviously not catered to new players, which is kind of strange because it's a bit of a weird decision because, when you're making a trailer for a new expansion, and you start marketing it, you're doing it with the hopes of not just bringing back old players, but I assume you're also trying to reach out to new players at the same time. So it's an interesting choice to have the trailer be so spoilery. But I suppose for someone who knows absolutely nothing about FF14, even this trailer is still completely out of context, so it's still not really a spoiler. But it is when you think far enough that it's like, oh, well, now I know these characters make it this far. So, like, if you see this trailer, and then you start... I want to start playing FF14, and you start playing Realm Reborn, and you see these characters, you're like, well, now I know none of them are going to die. So that's already spoiled right there. None of them are going to die. They're going to be around until Shadowbringers, because I saw the trailer before I started playing this game. So, it's still spoilery. But aside from that, moving on from that subject, yeah, incredibly epic trailer, and like I said at the beginning, this trailer it's lengthy, but when you're actually trying to comment on certain things, it feels like it goes by pretty fast. Like, I had to talk pretty fast there for some things. Like, I mentioned the Sin Eaters that we saw, the giant lion, which we've seen in-game now. It was Lord Vothri's fucking backrest, I guess. And the giant angel statue with the, you know, the wings and the sword and shield that attacks the Warrior of Light in the trailer. We saw those in Amdapor Keep Hard, like I said. They were just statues, not Sin Eaters. They were statues that were like automated AI robot-like creatures that white mages left behind to protect Amdapor. Let's see. Oh, right, and so Masayoshi Soken. Soken has taken over all the audio now. Nobuo Uematsu was nowhere to be found on this trailer. That's it. It's like he's passed on the torch finally. And it makes sense, because at this point, Soken has gotten enough experience to be able to, you know, it makes sense that he can take over the project completely now and actually compose a main theme for one of the expansions for this game he's been working so long on. And he did it, he blew it out of the fucking, he knocked it out of the park. Like, it's amazing. No one, hardly anyone would ever argue that Shadowbringers' theme sucks. No, it's fucking amazing. And I mean, obviously I've seen the Endwalker one too. That one's also fucking awesome. And I think now some people are torn between which one's better. I kind of, you know, I'll be honest, I actually kind of like the Endwalker one a little bit better. But notice I said a little bit. This one is still fucking amazing. And I know some people who are like, I still kind of prefer Shadowbringers or whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing Endwalker's theme, you know, adapted to like dungeon boss music and stuff like that once I finally get there. But focusing back on this was amazing. For the first time Soken actually makes a main theme for an expansion, he did an amazing job. And one more thing I wanted to say on that subject, I think. It's leaving me. What was I gonna say? Oh, I said it kind of makes sense also because this is 2019 now. This launched in 2019, right? In summer? At this point, Uematsu is also balls deep in FF7 Remake. You know, like at this point they're already showing trailers that it's coming out soon, you know. Actually they didn't really start showing trailers until... because it came out in 2019. Never mind, yeah. Sorry, these last few years have kind of been compressed in my mind for some reason. Sometimes I feel like 2019 was just last year. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so at this point, Uematsu was balls deep in FF7 Remake, so it's kind of cool that Soken got his chance to shine and fully take over all, like, basically all the sound direction of the game at this point for 14. Yeah, so, and yeah, I mean, this is a little off topic at this point, but I just want to say they're both genius composers at this point. Like, this is amazing, and then when FF7 Remake came out a year after this, almost basically a year after Shadowbringers, the music, wow, amazing too for that game. Like, somehow Nobuo Uematsu outdid himself. Literally transcended himself, because it was his music in the original game too. He made it like 10 times better in the remake. It's just amazing. So yeah, they're both genius composers, and as I said before, and again, most people would tell you, Shadowbringers coming back to this, it's an amazing expansion. It's a good one. It's a fucking good one. So let's get back into it, folks, because I've been rambling for 15 minutes. I mean, part of that was the trailer, but yeah, we gotta get back into it. But yeah, usually I comment on the trailers a little bit, and I didn't do that with this one yesterday, so figured I'd do it now. At least I'm pretty sure I commented on the Heavensward and Stormblood one. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I remember now. Oh wait, wrong character. Wrong data center. I love the theme, but it was difficult sometimes turning this game on first thing in the morning when I had like the free time to start playing. And I was just like, I'll log on real quick and do something before I go eat breakfast, you know? Like, because like maybe something I forgot to do the night before. You know, like a total degenerate. I'll log into this first. And then, bam, just get blasted in the face because I forgot to turn the volume down on my TV or something. I'm just like, fucking hell. Like, I'm so glad Endwalker's title screen does not do that anymore. Because it's rough. Shadowbringers was rough to boot up. It was like, holy shit, dude. And then when the auto log out after Mr. Asmongold brought a bunch of publicity to the game, and a huge influx of players started coming in shortly after the Endwalker trailer and everything too. And they had to put in auto logout because they were just getting flooded with too many players. Then I said this yesterday, people fell asleep and then just the title screen would just blast them awake. Oh shit! People fell asleep at their desk. Ah, good times, good times. I'll be honest, the Endwalker title screen kind of does it still a little bit too, but it's not as bad. It's nowhere near as bad. Not as obnoxiously, it's not as obnoxious, basically. It's a little bit gentler. A little bit. Alright, time to go get Alize now. We reunited with our boy Alfie now. Got a bunch of exposition on Yulmore. Now we're gonna go meet up with Alize and probably get exposition from wherever the fuck she's at. So I'll be honest, I think I might have... I think I might have mentioned this before. They look a bit busy. I'm not gonna do the bow because they look a bit busy there. That's right, I'm in Balmung. Still, I thought that kind of shit, you'd only run into that shit in Ul'dah, but I guess not, huh? So, anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, my first playthrough through the game, like almost 2 years ago now. Through Shadowbringers, I mean, specifically. I think I might have said it or implied it with some of the things I said back then. And if not, I'll reiterate right now that I was feeling this back then, and kind of am still right now a little bit. But it's always more fun to stream. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I actually found like the first half almost of Shadowbringers to be kind of generic and boring. I'm not gonna lie, like more so than Stormblood, but. There's a reason for that. It's because, I know it's 100% because of this. People hyped this expansion up way too much for me way before I got here. So my expectations were, as much as I didn't want to do this, my brain inevitably raised my expectations really fucking high. To the point where I was almost thinking like, from the very beginning to the end, this expansion was just gonna be like, I don't know, think of some crazy ass action movie. It's just like non-stop action and just shit's going crazy and you just don't even know what the fuck is going on. Like that level of intensity. It's not at all what this is like. It's like any other expansion. It starts off a little slow because there's exposition at the beginning. They have to set up the story for what's happening. You know, any well-written stories like this. But thanks to the fact that people hyped it up to me too much, I found the first half boring. And because, you know, Heavensward was a little hyped up too. But since I started playing when Shadowbringers was already a thing for like over a year, I started playing in 2020. It wasn't as hyped up. You know, people were like, "Oh yeah, Heavensward's fucking good," but they were like, "But Shadowbringers, dude, but Shadowbringers," and I was just like, "Okay, I get it." So that's why I was still able to kind of enjoy Heavensward and Stormblood quite a bit because they weren't as hyped up, you know, and because people said Stormblood sucked. And yeah, with the MSQ, like I said, I kind of agree with that too. But I'm not as harsh. I'm usually not that harsh of a critic with things, even when they do kind of suck. I actually found those refreshing because my expectations were low. So it's just kind of a lesson to... It's kind of a lesson to everyone out there. Like, even when you're really passionate about something, you want to get your friends to start playing it or something, be careful about hyping it up too much to your friends. Because they might get there and be like, this is what they were hyping up, or like, you know, it might take a while for them to get to the good part, you know, quote unquote, as people might think or say, and then, you know, maybe they won't even get there because they'll burn out beforehand thinking, I thought this was supposed to be better, like this just feels like any other expansion, you know what I mean? So be careful when you're hyping up your friends for something, because you could be setting them up for disappointment if you hype them up too much. So just be like, oh yeah, it's worth getting there, it's fucking good, you'll like it. Leave it at that. Because I don't want to keep rambling, but I have a feeling there's some... This is the reason why some people who started streaming this game, who had never played it before, some big-time streamers who started playing this game for the first time, kind of burnt out and stopped playing. before they even made it to Shadowbringers, because partially because of what I just said, but I think also it takes a long time to get here too. Like the game's getting pretty long, so. But I think it's also that too. It's just like, oh, I can't wait to get there. Everybody's telling me that part's awesome, but then it's just like, since you know you're just hyping up this part way in the back, and they're still way over here, they burn out on the way there and never make it. And they're like, oh, I'll go back to it later, and then you never know if they ever actually will, and some of them still haven't. Some of the big time streamers, yeah, they still haven't come back. So it's just, it's not really as related to what I'm talking about with the whole overhyping something up, but it's kind of along the lines too. It's kind of a factor as well, a little bit. Alright, back to this. Search of Alize. Ready to depart for Amarang? Alize will be overjoyed to see you safe. I know she was particularly concerned for your well-being. She, impressed upon me how regrettable the timing of her summoning was. Repeatedly. I had the choice to do that too. Remember when I was fighting Xenos? I could have been like, send me back now! I only hope that my part in sending you to her will garner me some measure of forgiveness. Here. This is a letter of introduction addressed to a man named Cassard, the master of a merchant caravan. By the way, I am actually in agreement. Like me, I'm actually in agreement too. You did call us here at the worst time. We were in the middle of fighting Garlemald, for fuck's sake. But I think that was a point based on what he's told us so far. He said that whether we win or lose, if we continue the path we're on, it leads to oblivion. So we'll have to take his word for it for now and just do what he asks and stay here. Anyway, there are a few who know the ways of the desert as well as he does. Find them at the Amaro launch and you will see that you reach your destination. Alright. Your first order of business will be to reunite with Alfino and Alize. Oh, he's back to what he was saying before I accepted either quest. In so doing, the predicament here in Norvend should become abundantly clear. As for communications with the source, Feo-Ul will gladly serve as your messenger. If needs be, however, you yourself should be capable of making the journey between worlds. The device there will serve as a portal. Right there. Simply touching a hand to its surface will transport you to the location of the beacon I left at the base of the tower. In theory, at least. Theory, you say? Some other time. I don't want to test this theory and get lost in space in the rift between. No, thank you. Mostly I just didn't do it because canonically it really doesn't make sense to go back right now. I get kind of... I don't want to say it's completely immersion breaking, but you know, it can be. The idea of this whole expansion was you come here and you're kind of semi-stranded here until you're done here and then you go back, you know? So... But again, it's an MMO, so they can't really strand you, because then you can't hang out with your friends. And that's a problem in an MMO, so they have to let you have a way back, you know? If you come looking for work, I might have a spot for another guard. A wax-sealed envelope addressed to Cassard. Not work, but looking for somebody. Need you to take me somewhere. Oh! Oh! A friend of the Exarch! Hoping to meet someone in Amarang, are you? Yep. Then I shall be your guide. I was about to set off for our outpost there, as a matter of fact, so we can leave right away. Assuming you have everything you need. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. All set? Then off to the unforgiving sands we go. You can now travel to Amarang, speak with the Adroit, Amaro Tamer, to fly to the desert. Okay. Yeah, I feel like if this was a single-player game, they would not let you go back until you finish your...
Arang. From this parched earth, the nation of Nabath, Arang once rose. When I journeyed here, long ago, I spoke with a sun-weathered elder. He told me Amarang meant majestic land in the language of his people. And so it might still be.
were it not for the light's unrelenting onslaught.
To finish clarifying what I was saying earlier, the first half, meaning from level like 70 to 75 almost, was when I was kind of bored in my first playthrough of Shadowbringers. You know, there were some highlights. Again, go watch my blind playthrough, you can see me reacting to everything for the first time. There were some highlights that were like, oh shit, this is, you know, actually really good and interesting and keeping me hooked or whatever. But there were also parts where I was kind of like, alright, let's just keep going, let's get through this, you know, see when the story really picks up. But again, it's like I said, it's because it was a little overhyped for me. The second half lives up to it, though. The second half totally lives up to the hype, though. So I wasn't disappointed at all. In the end. Oof. No matter how many times I come here, the cold never fails to catch me off guard. The sky may be as bright as the scorching hours of day, but it gets brisk enough to make you shiver. Yeah, that light isn't sunlight. Not gonna keep you warm, I suppose, right? No, the Exarch's letter said I was to take you to the inn at Journey's Head, which is where this Alize friend of yours is staying. It's evidenced by it's 2:37 in the morning, it looks like that. But that's a fair old distance, so I propose we make a stop in Mord Souk to break up the trek, allowing me to attend to some business and you to enjoy the local hospitality. Sound good? Good. Alright, you lot, I'm off, and I better not see the goods covered in sand when I get back. Right, we head southwest, straight as an arrow. Straight as an arrow. Stop here a moment. This is your first visit to Almarang, is it not? Before you cross the River of Sand, you need to turn around and feast your eyes on that. Where we just came from. I'm guessing he wants to bring my attention to the structure. Reminds me of Alamigo a little bit. Different architectural style, though. They built them big, didn't they? That's Kasser Sharl, a fortress meant to protect the northern reaches of Naboth the Ring. Seeing what was left behind, I believe it when they say it was once one of Norvrand's mightiest nations. At least until the flood came along. Great chunks of Naboth the Ring's lands were lost to the light, its great city included. The few who survived didn't see much point in staying. Most of them, anyway. No, not many choose to come here these days, not with everything in ruins. Even that hulking great fortress has become little more than a marrow roost for me and my caravan. Excuse me, but not everywhere is as deserted as this place. Just wait until you see Mord Souk. Let's press on, shall we? So now that I think about it, this is more unrelated, but since we were talking about, you know, the fact that there are certain streamers who have kind of burnt out before they even made it to Shadowbringers and all that, I kind of saw that part of the problem was, and I heard from some friends who watched these streamers more than me, and part of the problem was also their audience. Some people in their audience were, like, egging them on too hard. Like, they were trying to rush them to the story to get to the good part. I was like, that's another issue. That's something else you really shouldn't do. Either to a personal friend or to your favorite streamer if you're trying to get them to play through this. Let them take their time. They'll appreciate it more. You're constantly rushing them and telling them, hey, you need to hurry up because, you know, get this good shit already. You know, it's like, no, you're just kind of ruining their gameplay experience at that point. It's not going to encourage them to want to keep playing. Here we are, Mord Souk. By the blessed shadow, I love this town. Really? City of the Mord. Mordsuk. Not just full of Mord, but Humes and all manner of others, too. It has long been a refuge for folk displaced by the flood, but the population is nothing if not diverse. Oh, have you met a Mord before? They might look like shifty little blighters, but a more welcoming lot you could never wish to meet. Speaking of which, we should pay our respects to Master Gengen. I'll go ahead and let him know we're arrived. Okay. Amaro Keep, Aetheryte, Milady. What else we got over here? What's going on here? That's a kobold!
Master Gengen, this is the friend of the Exarch I was telling you about.
Very good, very good. Though friend or no, all are welcome in Mordsuk.
Souk is Mordish for city. As things stand, this souk boasts the largest and busiest marketplace in all Armorang. You'll find ore from the mines here, of course, but all manner of other things too. Many of them rare. As I told you before, not many visit Armorang by choice, but Mordsuk's a different story. Merchants come from miles around to purchase the relics the Mord dig up.
Aye, that they do. For Mords do not dismiss the spoils of the earth. We clean them and polish them and reveal to the world their true value.
Is that Thancred's voice actor with the other guy?
That is why they come here. Come from far away. Come with much money.
Not this guy, okay, the other guy.
And so our souk is always busy, busy, busy. No such thing as a thing no one needs.
You say that every time, Master Gengen. Some sort of family motto, wasn't it?
He sounds like Thancred's voice actor, this guy.
Or perhaps a Mord philosophy, for which we should all be very grateful. Would that everyone was so willing to take in refugees regardless of race or creed. Now then, if you intend to spend any time here, you'll want to gain the trust of the locals. And there's a little custom all newcomers are expected to observe.
The cracking of the coin purse. You buy one thing from the market. Price can be low or high, just as long as you buy.
As the good Mord says. In fact, the Exarch sent a little something to cover this very expense. A Verbert gold piece, no less. The first I've held in years.
Verbert gold? Real Verbert gold?
Here, newcomer! Crack your coin purse with me!
Oh no, you want my goods, newcomer? I have jars and pots all smooth and shiny.
Over here!
Come and look!
You buy, you buy? I got...
Enough of that! Calm, I say! This one must still journey through the barrens. Nothing bulky, nothing heavy, no pots. Nothing better for the road than a full belly. Spend that piece at Ronron's place, yes? Eat for 3 before you leave.
They all wanted this money. Oh, this coin, I guess. Holy shit. Ronron's shop is best for eating. Pack your coin purse and gorge on the delicious delicacies. Delicacies? Eat for 3, though. Dude, I only have 1 stomach, man. A full Voberkite honor seems a bit rich for buying a dented pan or a bowl of worms. Did the Exarch lose to you at cards or something? I think he's just trying to make sure I'm taken care of and don't want for anything. Thing is, I'm his esteemed guest who's partially here against his will. He's trying to be nice to me. What do we got? What is all this? Welcome to Ronron's, traveler. I have wares to empty your purse and fill your belly. Take your time. Stare and sniff before you choose, but no drooling on the merchandise, yes? Browse Ronron's wares. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Yeah, okay. Skewers. Yes, with frogs on them. Oh, you'll like those. Chewy skewers. I find small frogs hiding under rocks, a spear with stick, then roast over fire. Crackly on the outside, gooey on the inside. Perfect for snacking. So if I wanted to take it on the road with me. This. That's my ever-burning bounty, made with the best parts of the lizard, cured with special spicy spices. Excuse me. Some find the smell challenging, but it'll warm you up on chilly desert nights. The desert does get cold at night. Jeez, it got dark. Bread. No shit. I call that mushloaf. The middle is stuffed with bittersweet cactus fruits. Ooh. So even if the bread dries out, it's still moist. It's still moist inside. Keeps it going in the heat. That sounds delicious. Moist cactus fruits and covered in bread. Like, I'm actually salivating over what that sounds like it would taste like. Everyone's favorite. Plump white worms slathered in honey. Once you eat a glazed wriggler, you'll never want any other treat. So do I become Bear Grylls and go for the bugs? Or do I just eat something else? They all look tasty, yes? Which to choose? Which to choose? I think I'm gonna go with the mushloaf. I think I chose that my first time through too, I can't remember. It sounds kind of tasty. The cactus fruit on the inside and the bread on the outside, I want to try that. Ah, very wise! You won't wither on the sands with a gut full of cactus fruit filling. That's true, it'll keep me hydrated too. Gotta stay hydrated, baby. And done. One Voverkite honor buys you 40 loaves of bread. Oh wait, I think I missed something because of the auto scroll. I still had it on. 1 minute. What the hell did he say? He said they all look tasty, and I had to choose one. Okay, yeah, very wise. You won't wither on the sands with a gut full of cactus fruit filling? What did he say after this? Oh, he said you have the gold? Yeah, I got a coin, I guess. And then he said, and done, one of Overtide honor buys you 40 loaves of bread. Okay. So that's what I missed. Wait. 40 loaves of bread. Well, he did say I guess I could take them on the road with me, right? That's a lot. I'm not gonna eat all that right now. Kidding me? Is Leon actually eating it all right now? Because the guy told you to eat for 3? Will you eat a lot? Alright. If we're committed, we're committed. Every last mouthful. Give me it. What an appetite! What a belly! A new legend is born in Mordsuk! Consider your coin purse cracked. I am pleased to accept your custom, and Gengen will be pleased that you honored ours. By eating everything in one go? Oh, Jesus. Keeping the merchandise down, yes? No returns. I'll try not to throw it up. Holy shit, 40 loaves of bread in one sitting. How? I can't imagine how much more impossible that'll probably look, or, you know, what it can seem like if you're a Lalafell, too. Damn, one of those is like half your size. I've never seen anyone eat so much of Ronron's cuisine in one sitting. You have a stronger stomach than I. I was watching from here, Leon. You honored our custom and with great relish. You will always be welcome in Ward Souk. If you need anything in Amarang, we are here to provide. Thanks. Working off the meal. Yeah. You have courage, my friend. Ronron's wares are more exotic than harmful, but I don't envy you the bellyache you'll have on the morrow. Oh, crap. Right. Now that you've eaten, I expect you're eager to get back on the road. Would you mind if we delayed our departure a touch? I have a few deals left to close before I can conclude my business here in Ward Souk. Alright, yeah, sure. Oh, offering your services, are you? Aye, well, an assistant would certainly help hurry things along. I mean, I guess I have nothing better to do. I have a receipt here for some goods that need picking up from the market. All properly paid for. You just need to do the lifting and carrying. Transportation. Okay. I'll go and take care of some last-minute haggling then. See you in a bit. You may view the market receipt at any time. Okay. What the hell is... Oh. Hold on, what did it say first? Oh, there, it's in my chat log now. Market receipt, a list of merchandise purchased by Cassard and awaiting collection. So we got a table cactus by Thonton, iron ore by Tholtol, Nabotharang antiques by Milmil to be collected from Mulmul, and that's it. Okay. I think last time I had trouble with this because I didn't realize it was sitting... After you read it once, it stays in your chat log. So my first time through, I was like, just doing a bunch of trial and error. There's a bunch of dialogue if you do go to the wrong ones first, but it's not that interesting, so I'm just gonna stick to the plan and just find the right guys the first try. If I can. So we can get going. No. Milmil. But it's to be collected from Mulmul. Better zoom out. There's no one here. Tholtol, here's one. Iron ore. Yeah, here we go. Crate of ore. Cassard sent you, did he? Right. Yes. What kind of ore was it again? Iron ore. Iron ore, of course. I would explain this box I have here. It's all yours. Well, thanks. Table cactus from Donpon. Stack of herbal remedies. That's probably it. You came in with Cassard, yes? Good, good. I can finally stop thinking about that sack. Please, take your prickly purchase. There's Mummel. There's box of antiques. I'll be taking this off your hands. Hey, no touching! Excuse me, that merchandise is spoken for. You couldn't possibly change my mind with a better offer. I'm here to pick it up. What? Cassard sent you? Well, why didn't you say so? I wouldn't dream of selling his goods to a higher bidder. Oh, no, no, no. So you thought about it. Nabotharang relics, wasn't it? All packed in that box there. Handle with care. All done. Don't tell me you've been around the entire market already. Yeah. collection of goods Cassard ordered from the merchants of Mord Soup. Aye, that's the lot, alright. Good work. And quick work, too, considering you've not set foot in the place before. I thought you wanted to sit in the city like the Exarch, but something tells me you're not a stranger to visiting strange lands. No, not really. I am an adventurer, but you guys don't know that yet. It is kind of refreshing to be in a place where no one knows who you are. We still have some level of prestige, though, because we're friends with the Exarch. But still, it's not like back in Eorzea where everybody's like, it's the Warrior of Light, you know? Unfortunately, your efficiency presents something of a problem. I'd hoped to conclude all my business before you returned, but it seems there's been some confusion over one of the orders I placed. I'll have to drag in my middleman and sort this mess out. I'm sorry to make you sit around and twiddle your thumbs. Cassard? Feels like an age since I last saw you. Who it is? Well, she's pretty. Well, if it isn't the lovely Tesleen. It has been a while, but your timing couldn't be better. This gentleman was on his way to meet with Alize. I'm supposed to be taking him to your corner of the desert, but a misplaced order has commandeered my attention. Wait, I know who you are. You do? Alize has told me so much about you. You're Leon, aren't you? I knew it! How wonderful to meet you in the flesh after hearing all those stories. I'm Tesleen. I work as a carer at the inn, and I've gotten to know Alize quite well since she took up guard duties there. Do you want me to take over as Leon's guide, Cassard? My shopping's all done and packed for the road, so it wouldn't be no trouble. I think she said it would be no trouble, but that would be a great help, thank you. Well, it looks like you'll be able to head straight out after all. My caravan and I will be in the area for a while yet. Seek me out when you've had your fill of Amarang, and I'll send you back to the Crystarium. Okay. I can't get over how sick this outfit is. It's really cool. Take care with your desert crossing, and good fortune with meeting your friend. I'll be around when you're ready to head back to the Exarch. Alright. Desert crossing. Alize has been desperate to see you, Leon, so let's get you to her sooner rather than later. The inn isn't too hard to find, really. You can actually see the top of the rock spires from here. We just need to swing around the ridge, then head south. Come on, I'll get my supplies together and meet you outside. Okay. I haven't done this yet. Not that it makes a difference right now, but still. All set? Oh, I should probably mention the wildlife. While most of them will leave you be if you keep your distance, the local coyotes have learned to prey on folk heading home from the markets. Bastards. I can usually swing a sword well enough to fend them off, but I may have loaded myself down with too many bargains today. Do you think you can handle any beasts that try to make a meal of us? Of course. Said it before. I'm a bodyguard for hire. Well, I'll say kind of a mercenary, but when I am playing as Gunbreaker, technically that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not a Gunbreaker right now, but yeah, sure. Still, I'll do my best. I thought you might. Alize was always saying how much you... I mean, let's get going, shall we? Alize this, Alize that. Apparently she's been saying Leon this, Leon that. She's been talking to me a lot. It's cute. It's a little off on a chubby kitten. I don't know if it's gentleman or lady, but I'll bow anyway. Can't tell with Lalafell right away most of the time. Unless they're wearing certain outfits, but... Alright. Stay back, Tesleen. I got this fool. Sorry there wasn't much time to shout a warning. Were you bitten? Those things can be nasty. No, I'm good. And yet, hardly a match for you, it seems. I'd always thought Alize was strong, but in her mind, she was never... Now it makes sense. Well, we should push on. It might be best if you scout ahead and clear out any coyotes that have our scent. I'll wait here so you can fight without any distractions. Okay. Alright, let's go. I moved too late. Oh well. Whatever. I thought they would have died by now. They did. I don't want to lose this. Sorry, you were collateral. Oh, thank goodness you're back. I could hear the howling and snarling from here. Frightful creatures. Let's hope the rest have seen your handiwork and know to avoid us now. I need to get these supplies back to the inn. The hunters have become the hunted. What the hell is going on? I've been seeing this since I streamed yesterday, yeah. You guys see how some of the floor is like flickering? I saw it yesterday on stream, but I didn't say anything. Look, there. See that? Let's see if it comes up on the preview. That. Yeah. There it is. What the fuck is going on? I've never seen that before. This is it. Thanks to you, I didn't have to drop my shopping even once. Come to think of it, I'm glad I didn't make the trip alone. It seems you ended up escorting me. I'll have to repay the favor somehow, but first let's head inside, shall we? Wait a minute. I think I might know what's causing that. Shit, the cutscene. I'm gonna have to wait. It's gonna have to wait till after for me to test a potential fix. Holy shit, this place has seen better days, I think. Welcome to the inn at Journey's Head. You might be our first visitor from the Crystarium since Alize arrived. Almost a year ago? Damn. It's not much, but it's home for the afflicted and a handful of carers. The afflicted? What? I don't know. You don't know? Excuse me. I don't think I've met anyone besides Alize who was so unfamiliar with our situation here. Most folk have grown up knowing someone who knew someone. I might leave out something obvious, so it may be best to have Alize give you the full explanation. "101 degrees outside right now." Jesus. Thank God we got that AC fixed. Oh, hold on, yeah, before we keep going. Is this where we were standing? More or less? Yes, okay. Let me test it again. Alright, cool. So we need to make sure it's consistent so we can see if this works. It could be this. Use low detail models on distant objects. LOD. It's a new setting that... Look at the left side right there. It is this. I knew it. Okay, cool. So it's not my game fucking up, it's because I turned this on, the draw quality thing. shows up on the preview. It's right... Okay, where's my finger? Damn, I should have closed my closet. Well, you see where my finger is. So, like, above there, but it's on the, it's close to the top of the system configuration. Look at the mountain. The little piece of the mountain there. Yeah. So that's this. So if I turn it off, it'll stop doing that then. Yep. I turned it on just to improve performance. Even though I, like, rarely ever get any slowdown anyway. But I was like, yeah, just in case, you know, why not? If I'd known it was gonna cause that issue, though. Like, if I knew it was gonna be that obvious whenever it was changing from a low quality to a high quality model, I wouldn't have turned it on. Alright, problem fixed, let's go. Totally give you the option, though. I have a feeling that setting I might actually have to turn that setting on in a couple years if I'm still playing this. When they start updating the graphics. Because I feel like when they start doing that, after 7.0 launches or whatever, I get the feeling that the PS5 is going to start slowing down, and even the load times, but even outside of that, I'm probably going to start getting frame drops and stuff. It's going to start to become like the PS4, basically, once they update the graphics. I feel like it will, but who knows. Maybe I'm underestimating it. Following in her footprints. Now, where is she? I think she might be out on patrol. You could wait, I suppose, but why not go and surprise her? She usually takes a look at things from the watchtower first, so you might be able to catch her there. It's not far. Head out the south side and you'll soon see it. I'll stay behind in case she comes back while you're gone. Alright. Alley's nowhere to be seen, but you spot fresh footprints on the ground, and they look to be about the right size. So she usually starts on that tower. There's a vista up there. Small footprints. Small footprints lead off to the northwest. Footprints continue on to the northwest. Gilman! These things are really freaky in The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This is a really, really creepy story arc involving these types of creatures. Basically mummies. Zombies that are wrapped in bandages, basically. Like, it's really, really disturbing, honestly. Any Majora's Mask fans know what the hell I'm talking about. And yeah, one day I'll play that game on stream, but I don't have it planned for any time soon. The footprints curve around to the west. There are more tracks here, but they end in a mess of disturbed sand. Yeah, they're all over the place. Is there a scuffle here or something? What's going on? Whew.
Get back here!
Oh shit!
Is that... It can't be.
Damn, look at her go! Impressive!
Just a lesser sin eater. Nothing to write home about.
Oh shit, we got a badass over here.
You'd turn up sooner or later, but I had been hoping for sooner.
Let's do clothes.
How are you?
They're trying so hard to hide her emotions right now. Isn't that cute? She's trying so hard to hide how excited and happy she is to see me. That's adorable. I like her new outfit though, like I was saying.
We've fought them to a standstill then. The Exarch did say that the Empire seemed to have drawn back when he last looked in on the source. But without knowing for sure how fast time was passing there, I couldn't help worrying that a lot might have happened since then. I'm heartily relieved to hear that it hasn't, just as Alphino must have been. As you can imagine, both he and Urianger were desperate to hear the news from home when I arrived. I haven't actually seen Thancred and Y'shtola yet, but they will have heard all the latest developments from the Exarch by now, or should have at least. When I think of how frantic Tataru and the others must be, I want nothing more than to rush back and reassure them. But we still haven't found a way to reverse the summoning. And even if we had, we couldn't just ignore Urianger's vision. He may use 10 words where one would suffice, and they may often obscure as much as they reveal. But on this matter, he was as clear as day. I do not
sounds
doubt
like
for
me.
one moment that he saw what he claims. Nor how difficult it must have been to speak about them. The 8th Umbral Calamity and your death aren't exactly topics for idle conversation. As much as I might want to go home, I don't want to go home to that. We can't allow the rejoining to happen, which means we have to save the First from the Sin Eaters. That great wall of white is a remnant of the Flood. 100 years ago, the balance in the First tipped decisively in favor of light. From that moment, it rose and swelled with each passing day, and then, without warning, it burst forth like water from a broken dam. A colossal wave of pure light, drowning everything in its wake. Only Norvrant was spared. For the most part, living things are composed of ether of various different aspects. But when exposed to such a flood, their etheric harmony is shattered, and their natural form breaks down. Then they either perish, or are warped into mindless abominations. Yes, that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people, that were caught in the path of the Flood. Once the change is wrought, there is no going back. In that instant, they are gripped by an insatiable appetite for ether, and will happily gorge themselves on any living thing within reach. But even that is not the worst of it. The stronger Sin Eaters can plant light in us, like seeds in soil, corrupting our ether, and triggering the birth of new monstrosities. They are creatures of base instinct, that exist only to feed and to multiply. They feel no pity, know no remorse, and are utterly deaf to reason. Which is why they must be destroyed. Every last one of them. The infirmary is full of the Sin Eaters' victims, left here to spend their final hours waiting for the change to overtake them.
Some heavy shit. Some dark shit. But actually quite the opposite. Ironically. It's the opposite of darkness. It's just a matter of time. More for some, less for others. Those patients will all become monsters in the end. See, it's because we're used to using darkness as a figure of speech for saying things are going bad. This turns that on its head. I think it's brilliant. Not horribly original though, because I heard, even on my first playthrough, I think I might have talked about this, some friends told me that this was basically the concept of what's happening in the story, which you just explained, and maybe kind of loosely related to this manga called Berserk that was pretty popular like way back in the 90s or 2000s, I can't remember. They said that basically the Shadowbringers storyline is like that, like a loose recreation of that story. I still haven't read or seen any of it, of that manga or anime or whatever, but it's supposedly a very loosely similar concept, and it's also very dark, and not literally dark because it's obviously light, but you know what I mean, like figuratively speaking, it's pretty dark in the sense that it's, you know, a lot of fucked up shit happens. And to add insult to injury, the afflicted are feared, shunned, cast out of society, and exiled here to the edge of the world. The only good thing I have to say about this hellish place is that it has served me well as a training ground. Kathleen and the others have also been kind enough to share their knowledge of the Sin Eaters, which is knowledge I can now share with you, while you help me finish my patrol, of course. Of course. Pulling the ranks. Here's what we'll do. I'll take the east side of the inn, and you clear the west. That way you can have an undiluted experience with the resident terrors. These marks on your map are where the usual trouble spots are. You can assume that any beast with a white hide or carapace is a Sin Eater, but you'll know for sure soon enough when they come slobbering after your ether. Remember, it's kill or be killed with these monsters. If you see one of those things, uniform or not, don't hesitate. Good old Marvin from Resident Evil 2 Remake. Such a great character. Short-lived, but amazing character. Once you've slain whatever's prowling around out there, we can rendezvous back at the north entrance. Good hunting. Forgiven cowardice. Say hello to my void scent, asshole. Kill you with the power of darkness. Aya! Oh, sorry, that was too cheesy even for me. The definition of rip and tear. What I heard someone call this transformation. I agree. Hella evil. Enshrouded. I mean, it makes sense, right? Using the power of darkness to fight against light monsters? It's only logical, right? Oh. See if I can finish charging it up real quick before I lose it. There we go. At least wanted to do that. Oh shit. How did you fare? Pretty good. My avatar ate them. Found them a tasty meal. Ah, I thought there might be one or two lurking on the fringes. Nothing out of the ordinary for this area. I expect you noticed it yourself, but individually, these lesser Sin Eaters are no more deadly than any natural predator you might encounter in the desert. It's when they appear in numbers that they pose a threat. Much like the Void Scent, they have an unfortunate tendency to flock to the strongest of their kind. Well, I'm fighting them using the power of a Void Scent. Poetic justice. Thus, when a powerful Sin Eater goes on the hunt, it might be attended by a veritable swarm of weaker kin. Imagine an army of such creatures descending on a village or hamlet. Oh, Jesus, yeah. That's the basic idea behind my patrols. To call their ranks often enough that their numbers won't be overwhelming when the big ones come out to play. And you've certainly helped on that front. Let's report our victories to Tesleen, shall we? Okay. So this place is basically the opposite of the 13th. Makes sense. 13 reflections, the 1st and 13th are complete opposites of each other by total happenstance. The 13th reflection being the void, because it was completely consumed. It's the world of darkness, where we fought the cloud of darkness and everything. That's where my power as a reaper comes from. Yeah, it's complete darkness, and this place has been consumed by light. Though not entirely, but pretty much 90%. It's like on the way of becoming like the void, but light instead of darkness, essentially. She hasn't been telling you stories, has she? Oh god. Oh yeah, she told me a little bit. She told me enough to know. To know that you've been talking shit about me. No, not shit. All good things. But I'm guessing that's why you're feeling a little scared and maybe embarrassed, aren't you? Alice tells me you helped out on her patrol. You have our thanks. And my apologies for leading you from one battle to another ever since the moment we met. That's alright. In any case, I'm glad to see the two of you found each other. You have no idea how badly Alice has missed your company. Everything is always, if Leon here, he would... That's an exaggeration! And I don't sound like that either. I was simply trying to view matters from another perspective, and I respect Leon's methods. Honestly, after seeing him in action, I can understand why. The way he leaps into the fray without hesitation, it really is something to behold. And I might be a little smitten myself. Oh! I'm only teasing. Though I've no doubt he deserves all the admiration he gets, just as you do. Poor Alize, she's getting bullied. No? Alize? Anything to say? This is what I get for sharing. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, Alice is what you get for talking too much. This is what I get for sharing. Maybe I'll just head out on another patrol. Damn. It is a double-edged sword, isn't it? When you start sharing things about yourself with someone else. But hey, it makes for good times. Sometimes, like in this instance, you know? When it's lighthearted banter, it's all good. It's all good, Alice. It's all good. Here. Where is it? I don't have it. I think I have it here, though. There it is. There, Alice. Cheer up. Console Alice. Purchase of fruit. I'd love to lay out a welcome meal, but the duties I put off when I went to the market are still waiting for me. Ah! There are 101 things I need doing! I'm sorry, but would you mind waiting here with Alice? What, and twiddle our thumbs while you work yourself to death? Surely there's something we can help you with. Yeah, you can count on us. I could do with a hand, it's true. Thank you. You can start by helping me sort out the larder, Alice. While we do that, could you tend to a few patients, perhaps? There are 3 in particular I meant to visit. It's just a matter of saying a few words to them and seeing that their skin isn't caked in sand. Their names are Ponnell, Todden, and Halric. Excuse me. They may not give much in the way of a response. And again, like always, but I promise they'll be pleased to meet someone new. Alright. It'll do them good to see a new face. There's not much in the way of novelty around here to distract them from their worries. I would speak more on the subject of Sin Eaters, but let's see these tasks finished first. Alright. Ooh! Oh. But thank you. Damn. Seems rough. I look pale as hell. Even his eyes. Hammond glances up at you blankly, but you notice the tension in his face ease slightly. That first guy barely had any white around his eyes. The second guy was more pale, and this kid is, Ulrich remains... Oh, shit! I forgot I turned that on for voice... I gotta turn it off when I go back to a non-voice theme. 30 seconds. It just happened. What did it say? Ulrich remains utterly still as you wipe the sand from his cheek. Okay. I think that's all I missed. The texture of his skin is hardened into something akin to plaster. Jesus. Literally transforming into a sin eater before our very eyes. Your work is done then? Yeah. You've seen to the patients? How were they? Good. That's good. I knew they would enjoy meeting you. I am concerned about Ulrich, though. I'll have to speak with the other carriers, but I think his time may be near. We shall leave you to have that discussion then. I was going to take Leon to Mordsuk if you have any errands that need doing. Well, I suppose there is one thing. Would you pick up a nectarine from the markets, please? Kassard's caravan just passed through, so Ronron should have some fresh fruit. Come then, Leon. There's something I want you to see. Right after we stop at Ronron's stall, of course. Okay. Let's see about that nectarine, shall we? Let's. Oh, back again, are you? You need another taste of Ronron's wares? Actually, we're looking to buy a nectarine. Do you have any in stock? Oh yes! Nectarines, peaches, grapes, fresh and juicy. Given how richly you cracked your coin purse with me, I might still owe you food. Here, take this one. Free of charge. God, I've never seen a Mord merchant give away something for nothing before. How much coin did you spend here? Oh yes, I'll take a jar of honeyed worms as well. So, that's your favorite. Oh no, they're not for me. It's an offering of sorts. Really? Asking for a friend? You gonna use that excuse? Really? The worms, if you please. Only the best wrigglers for you. Come again, my friends. Right, that's our shopping chores taken care of. Let's head up past the Aetheryte to the main tower. The view I want to show you can only be seen from its very top. Fair enough. Reuniting with everyone slowly like this and catching up to what they're all doing kind of reminds me of an FF14 at the end when you reunite with your friends after Noctis went to sleep for 10 years inside the Great Crystal. Or whatever it's called. A Mother Crystal, I think, or whatever. I can't remember what the hell it's called properly anymore. Oh, you need something? Because they all tell you that they kind of became like... They split up and kind of became independent. Still work together from time to time, but they're mostly off doing their own thing. You know, Gladio, Ignis, and Prompto. Here are your precious worms. That buys us a trip to the top of the tower, does it not? Blade Wrigglers! You actually brought them! I really shouldn't let you, but just this once, alright? Only once! Never fails, shall we? Ha! Never fails, meaning he's already allowed her more than once.
Look, over there, where the wall is broken. Do you see what lies beyond? That's what the land became after the light flooded in. An empty white nothingness. Life cannot exist in such conditions. The primordial light would wreak havoc on the body's etheric balance.
It looks like the burn. Same thing, right?
That nectarine you bought. It's Halric's favorite fruit. Most of the patients, Halric included, survived the attacks of powerful eaters. But their fate was sealed all the same. The monster's corruption has entered their bodies, and their very essence is being subsumed by light. The twisted state of the world itself just makes matters worse. Under normal circumstances, a person's ether naturally tends to equilibrium. But for these poor souls, the opposite is true. Sooner or later, every single one of them will turn. Tesleen and the patients, they all know this. They know what has to be done before the change goes too far, before the eater within takes over. The preferred method is mixing poison into their favorite food. In my time here, I've borne witness to a lot of last meals. I feel just as helpless as before. No matter how hard I fight, it's never enough. But it's a war I mean to wage, nonetheless. Speaking of wars, do you remember how I made you promise not to leave me and then promptly collapsed?
How could I forget?
Well, let's just say I had a few choice words for the Exarch concerning the timing of his summons.
Yeah, he told me about that, actually.
But even if the fault lay with someone else, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd abandon you on the battlefield. So I swore that I'd make up for my absence there by making a difference here. And that's what keeps me moving forward, even when things seem hopeless. On which note, it's time we headed back. The longer we keep Tesleen waiting, the harder this will be for her.
Fucking tragic. Giving them a last meal. No one's allowed in here without permission, especially not outsiders. It's not right. I'm glad I was able to show you that. When it comes to understanding the catastrophe which befell the first, one glimpse of the empty wasteland beyond the wall is worth more than an hour of Uriange's lecturing. Yep. So yeah, we got a preview of this back in the source with the burn, that dungeon. It showed us more or less what happens when the land is sucked dry of ether. And that's basically what's happened here outside of those crystal walls. And I needed you to know beyond a doubt that Tesleen has no other choice. The nectarine will be a kindness. It isn't just a threat posed to others. When a person becomes an eater, the pain appears to be excruciating. The carers are truly fond of their wards and would spare them that suffering. It is their way of fighting back against a fate worse than death. Excuse me. Yeah, I get it. Go ahead. I think she's been waiting for us. You're back. I hope you had a nice time. Did you manage to find the nectarine? Yeah. Plump, sweet-smelling nectarine. Thank you. Alice's explained why I wanted this, has she? Has she? I can see it in your eyes. But we may not need it just yet. I spoke with the others and we've decided to keep an eye on Halric for now. Thanks to you, though, if his time does come suddenly, we'll be ready to send him on his way with a taste of happier days. Right. Pardon me. Thank you for understanding. The way she worded that. Happier days. A taste of happier days. The time left to us. It gets real, doesn't it? This one more so than Alfina's questline. But reminds you of your own mortality. In a lot of ways. Well, nothing is gonna happen for a little while yet, so let's see if we can lighten the mood. We don't want our gloomy faces worrying the patients. I think it's time for that welcome meal, don't you? Take a seat and I'll make us a nice stew. Fair enough.
Speak up if you'd like another helping. I made a little bit more than usual today.
And you've added something special to the broth, if I'm not mistaken.
Aye, well, it's not often we have visitors from the Crystarium, so I may have thrown in a few extra bits and bobs.
I want to say this one, but this one's more me. I'll have another bowl then. I like the funnier responses, so.
That's what I like to hear. Give me a moment to warm up the pot. In a place like this, you learn to take what moments of happiness you can get. I remember when I first came here with my mother. She was showing the early signs. I knew there was no way to save her, but I just couldn't face what needed to be done. That's the way of it for most people. Why they travel from arms to stay here. Beaten, broken souls come to wait out the inevitable, to receive the mercy of a painless death. When my mother finally left this world, I was mad with grief, but also thankful that her passing was a peaceful one. It's never easy, ending a life you've cared for, even when you believe they go on to a better place. I often find myself wishing the Warrior of Darkness would come and do that part for me.
The Warrior of Darkness?
I was about to ask that too. What are you talking about?
You've never heard the tale? I'm not sure where it began, but every child in Norvrent could tell you a version of it. Warrior of Darkness, servant of death, take care of our souls at our dying breath. Let sinners and eaters of sin go with thee, that all may return to the sunless sea. Well, that's the version I was taught anyway. It's just an old bedtime story. He's certainly never deigned to visit us here.
Which is a good thing, surely. He sounds rather ominous.
Do you think so? I always liked the idea that he treated every soul the same, even the Sin Eaters.
They're coming.
Desleen! Have you seen Halric? I swear, I only took my eyes off him for a moment.
Where could he have gone? This is my fault. The patients were acting strangely and I let it distract me. Leon, Alize, we have to go look for Halric. I don't know what's gotten into him, but if he's wandering out there alone, we'll assign search areas and split up. Any idea where he might be headed? No, he's never done anything like this before. But it can't be a coincidence that the other patients are suddenly so agitated. They can sense something. In any case, let's keep the search close to the end. Halric isn't very sure on his feet, so he won't have gone far. I'll search the east side. Please, Halric. Please be alright. I'll cover the north and west then. You take everything from here to the south. Okay. See no sign of Halric. Maybe he went further west. You scan your surroundings in search of Halric, and suddenly find yourself under attack. What? You son of a... That's concerning. I'll take it. Pardon me? So this kind of, you know. There we go. Full bars. 100, 100. You like the little shape they make? The red and blue are mirrors of each other, the little figure they have in them. On the little gauges per Reaper. Good shit.
Any sign of him? No luck then. But he surely can't have gone far. We should keep looking. The Sin Eaters are out in force, and if we don't find him soon, you can be sure they will.
Well, that looks familiar, doesn't it?
Did you see the size of that thing? It must be one of the nasty ones. Wherever it's going, it can only mean trouble. After it! There it is!
Is that... Oh no!
Oh shit!
Halric!
Holy shit, Tesleen!
We have to run!
Tesleen! No!
We all deserve happiness, wherever we can find it. The time left to you is precious. No one should die in pain. Mother, I...
Isn't any easier to watch the second time. I haven't seen this scene since almost 2 years ago.
No, 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 no!
Sorry, I needed a moment to compose myself. Yeah, my other two playthroughs with my other characters, I said I was skipping scenes, and I skipped that one too. So, that was only my second time watching that. The first time, was my blind playthrough, like almost 2 years ago. It doesn't get easier. I was dreading it the whole time. The moment we met Tesleen, I was thinking about it. And I was already choking up. I was trying my best to hide it. I don't know how well I succeeded, but I was trying my best to hide it, but I was already choking up a little bit from time to time. Whenever we interacted with Tesleen, because, I knew that was coming. Fucking nightmare fuel. I mean, it makes me cry how she ended up, but the transformation itself is just absolutely horrifying. Yes, Shadowbringers really doesn't disappoint. This is one of the highlights where I wasn't bored. Because, like I said, in general, I was a little bored by the first half of this expansion. This was not one of those moments where I was bored. Not at all. This kind of followed up really well, that moment with the merchant. The guy that we talked to, and 5 minutes later we see that Sin Eater, you know, spit out the ring that he had on his finger. So this is another one of those moments where I was like, oh my god, this is horrifying, and this is as dark as people were saying it was going to be. Like, Jesus Christ. It's nothing like anything that's been seen before in this game so far. It's a very steep tonal shift from all the previous expansions and everything, you know? Makes you feel a lot more emotion. A lot like the Dark Knight storyline when compared to other job quest stories. For me, anyway. I haven't done them all, but you know. I'm sorry, Leon. I tried to tell the carers what happened, but I can't be the shoulder they lean on. Not like this. I'll let him know. That comparison should be accurate, by the way. The one thing I've forgotten to mention at this point was, but most people already know this anyway, and I think I said it before Shadowbringers, but the person who wrote the Dark Knight quest line is the same person who became the head writer for Shadowbringers, so she does an amazing job at evoking emotion. It's just so unfair. Kathleen was always so cheery with the patients, telling them not to be scared, that there wouldn't be any pain. Of all the people in the world to suffer such a fate. Oh, Kathleen, you thought only of others, and this was your reward. Well, they say the good die young, right? Yeah, it's noble, but it should stand to reason, as cold as it sounds. If you're only thinking of others, you are more likely to end up like that, to dying for someone else. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be painless either. Dying for someone else, I mean. I don't know if I said that a little weird. I imagine you're just as shocked as the rest of us, so I appreciate what you're doing here. Yeah, actually, this is one of those moments where what the NPC said is actually 100% accurate. Well, for me anyway. I can't speak for everyone, right? Some players, maybe, they're not as shocked. They don't get as freaked out by things like that, but me, yeah. This is my second time through and it wasn't any easier. Me? I don't have the words. Without a body, we can't even give her a proper burial. And she cared about that sort of thing, about giving people a chance to say their goodbyes. Ulrich is as unresponsive as ever. He stands motionless, staring up into the sky where the Sin Eaters made their escape. Time left to us. Tears on the sand. More like on my carpet, fool. I'll leave it. Thank you. What you're doing, it means a lot to them. To me. Sorry to interrupt. Realized we hadn't thanked you for rescuing Ulrich. You weren't hurt at all, were you? Hurt? There wasn't even a fight. I was too late. Too slow. I thought I could protect you. You can't blame yourself for things beyond your control. You brought Ulrich back safe and sound. No one could have done any more. I'm sorry, but I've come to a decision. I won't be continuing in my role here. I hope you will forgive me for leaving you, and that you will delay Ulrich's last meal for as long as you possibly can. Not until it's too late, of course, just give him what time you can. We always do. Of course. She would have done the same. Farewell, Ulrich. Keep Tesline's words close to your heart. Wait, you're leaving this very moment? I understand how you must feel, but surely this is a bit hasty? Do you even have anywhere to go? I have a destination in mind, yes, and a purpose. This damned light building without cease. It's the reason we can't save those corrupted by the Eaters. But what if we corrected the balance? Even if it were only little by little, even if it took years, it would surely make things better. Now hold on there. Everyone knows there's too much light, but how could you ever hope to get rid of it? You'd have to change the whole world. Never doubt that a small group of individuals can do just that. That's right. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. It all starts with a small group of people. Every time. I should return to the Crystarium. I may not be able to repel the Eaters on my own, but I can still use the skills I've gained here to hurt them. Leon! Good to see you again. You look like you have a story or two to tell. But I sense you'd sooner get back to the Crystarium. Yeah. Forgive me, Leon. I couldn't stay there a moment longer. Excuse me, but I was serious about what I said. While the men and women at the inn battle against this blight with kindness, I must fight it my own way, with steel. Ugh. Excuse me again. For Mayorzia's sword in the darkness, the Norvran's sword in the light. Gods above. Feels like an age ago now. Referring to the clothes of Bahamut. Miss Alize? Is there anything I can get you? She started crying. Your shift is tomorrow. I need to return to the Crystarium immediately. As you wish. Startled the hell out of him. Said it before, right? He's one of those people who falls apart if she doesn't keep moving. I think Lisa's the one who said that. Ugh. Remind me to wear goggles if we ever fly over Amarane again. I've barely gotten the sand out of my eyes. But the wind did help to clear my head at least. I think I'm ready to meet with the Exarch. We need to talk about how we're gonna wipe the Sin Eaters out. Shall we? If you have business with the Crystal Ectarch, just say the word and I would be happy to escort you to the Oculus. Please, my good sir. Welcome back, Leon. You'll have to share the tale of your journey once the two of you are suitably rested. Indeed. I see you were reunited with Alice, but I dare say you found little else to celebrate in Amarane. Thank you for seeking me out, Leon. It meant a lot to have you there at my side. Looking at Alfie now, I'd say he's as eager to begin this discussion as I am. I say we lay our experiences before the Exarch and step back to see what kind of picture they make. Then we can decide where to go from here. Fair enough. Hey, Lorcan. Welcome back. Happy to have you as always. Hope you're doing well. Whenever I come to the Crystarium, the sands of Amarane seem a world away. And yet they both lie under the same wretched sky. Alfina? If only every town could share the Crystarium's spirit of independence. Okay, we read this before. It's when we got back from Yulmore. At this point, the two storylines have converged. Alize and Alfina's, so, you know. They just go back to saying whatever they would say when you first got back with either of them, while they wait for you to go get the other one. If that makes any sense. Because they let you do it in, you know, pre-run fashion. PogChamp is right. We're moving right along through Shadowbringers. Oh, we finally made it to level 71 quest. The Life Wardens. Seems like... not too soon, hold on.
And so you return. Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin Eaters.
Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their kind, a class of creature we call Light Wardens. And from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist. Just as an ant colony will perish in the absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Light Warden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
I have a feeling Yulmore might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters. Vorthra's command over the Sin Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies.
Agreed. Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity.
You sure that eliminating the Wardens is enough? Or will be enough?
Your uncertainty is understandable, given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order. To begin at the beginning, then.
More exposition time. Here we go.
In the ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds. This is the source, your home. These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy. Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source. And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence. If the element in question were fire, then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold. As ether continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations. These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities. 7 times has a calamity befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed.
Is that the 13th? The void? I mean, it looked really dark and ominous. I don't know.
At present, the light-drowned realm of the First stands perilously close to meeting the conditions for a rejoining. It is the Sin Eaters who are to blame for the light's continued dominance. In addition to attracting their lesser kin, the Light Wardens I mentioned earlier radiate ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Northrant, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the First and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Light Warden to the sword.
Put him to the sword.
We've
That
been
expression.
doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
Though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Light Wardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the interruption, my lord, but Hallminster Switch is requesting reinforcements. They say the Sin Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
That was her name, Lena. She was the one in the trailer, I think, showing off the dancer job.
Alert the guard. We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphino and Alize as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Still, what he did manage to explain was more than enough. He's standing on the source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hey, 13, we can count. I'm dicking around. This is a pretty picture though. Holminster Switch is in the north of Lakeland, so we'd best make haste with our preparations. In fact, meet me outside the Crystarium at the crossroads northwest of the Ascensor Gate, and I shall lead you there myself. Wow, alright. Good host, this guy. Now we more or less know what we're up against, and what we have to do. We have an actual objective now. Give me 1 sec, I left too soon. And I finally remembered something I was gonna do before Oh. It's a 2-hour mark. Huh. Bit of a mini cliffhanger, I guess, but yeah, good time to take a break, actually, because what's coming up next is not going to be short. It's going to take a while. So you know what? I'm going to take a break right now. But hey, at least we got, you know, it's actually a perfect time. Like, something's happening right now and things are urgent, yeah, that kind of sucks. But at least we got more exposition on what exactly is happening here, and what we're going to try to prevent, what we're here to try to prevent. And what our overall goal is to destroy these Light Wardens. So we know that much now. But, yeah, I guess we'll get started on that after, we take care of this business that Lena just informed us. But that'll be after I get back, so I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes.